Well, hello. Welcome back to my channel, and man, it's been a long time. We're not going to be doing anything on deadline day, are we? I mean, this whole Jules Koundé thing has been dragging on, and I don't expect anything to happen. But I just want to address something else that's been bothering me. The negativity on Twitter. I mean, these people have just completely lost their heads. It's panic stations on Twitter. They think we can't compete, this, that, and the other. I'm going to compare every single squad so far, squad depth-wise, including Chelsea's, compared to the rest of the challengers, the top four, and see where things stand. But I am not happy with some of what I'm seeing on Twitter. Like right now, statuses like this, saying Europa League losers getting this, that, and the other, and the Champions League winners getting this. What frustrates me about this is it doesn't tell you the whole story. Because, I mean, we lost Zuma, we got Chalobah, and Chalobah looks like a baller, and he looks like, as much as I like Zuma, I think Chalobah has a higher ceiling than Zuma. It's safe, and I like Zuma. He's a very nice guy. He's happy Zuma. He makes everyone smile. We even have like Loftus-Cheek, Barkley for squad depth options. I mean, let's put it this way. Manchester United are fantastic. They've had a fantastic window, and people are praising their window, and absolutely they should. But they still start Fred and McTominay in midfield, and you're telling me that Ampadu, Loftus-Cheek, they can't sit on the bench for us and be a rotational option? Is that how spoiled we are? Is that how where we have gotten to? No, it's Chelsea fans are like this. We have Jorge, Kante, and Kovacic, three of the top center midfielders in the league and maybe in the world. Jorginho just won best player in Europe. Kante just won best midfielder in Europe, and Kovacic, we know he can ball as well. People are saying for the fourth choice, give me a Chouamani. And you know what? Ideally, I would like him. Give me a Declan Rice. Ideally, I would like him. Give me a Saul Niguez. We'll come to Saul. But let's get a Declan Rice and Chouamani. Would I like Declan Rice and Chouamani? Yes. Do I think Declan Rice will happen? I think Declan Rice will inevitably, not this season, but in a season or 2 seasons, whenever, will be a Chelsea player. And will Declan Rice, if we put in 120 million, whatever else they asking for Declan Rice, he would be fourth choice this season. He would be we're going to be spending £100 million for a player to sit on the bench unless there's an injury crisis. So I don't get it. Like I can see Ampadu, Loftus-Cheek, and Barkley do a job for us. Do it, especially with Fred McTominay and these guys starting every week. Matic is still there. Matic hasn't been the same since he was at Chelsea. Since our second title, the title we won in 2017. Second title with Hazard is what I meant to say. When we won in 2017, that was he was already in decline then. You can only imagine what he is now. United fans don't rate him. And I'm supposed to believe that our team is a lot worse than everyone else. I just don't. This is just Chelsea fans creating intentional panic for likes, for retweets, and for everything else that I just don't like. Which it's their business. It's their business. Most of these guys are probably 16 anyway. They have a. Let's say they bought an expensive shirt from the local grocery store, but no, they want Gucci. They want the main thing. They're not happy with 1, 2, or 3 $700 shirts. They want a fourth one to be at least $600 shirt. They're not happy with a $120, $200 shirt. That's not enough for them. They want every shirt has to be above $500. That's what it's going to do for Chelsea. We're spoiled. We are absolutely spoiled. That squad is good enough to compete for the title. That squad is good enough to compete for the Champions League. Yes, there are weaknesses. If Kante gets injured, we might have to make adjustments. Jorginho might have to play in a defensive midfield role. Maybe Jorginho and Kante won't be able to play together. Then obviously that's going to happen if one of them gets injured. But we know Loftus-Cheek can ball. I mean, he did it under Sarri. He had a very serious injury, and But he can be a rotational option. Of course he can. Mason Mount's there. Mason Mount can play multiple roles. He can play as an attacking mid. He can play center mid. He can probably play defensive mid. I wouldn't trust him there, but he can do all these things, and he's a wonderful talent. And if nothing else, if you have a severe injury crisis, we can still call upon Ross Barkley. So the way I see it, it's not a crisis. Chelsea are not in any situation to spend. Yes, we would like Koundé. Ideally, I would like. Here's the thing about Sal. Before I get to Koundé, let's talk about Sal. Sal Niguez, this is his transfer value right now. He's been declining. He's been rapidly declining for many years. And Chelsea fans are acting like he is sort of the second coming of Kovacic. I'm not sure. I honestly am not sure. Sal has had a serious injury at Atletico Madrid. Remember, he peaked. And when he peaked, he was like what Havertz is, Mason Mount is, what Reece James is now. He was then, like, in terms of hype, he had that amazing, people were saying he has such a high ceiling, but then he had a serious injury when he was at Atletico Madrid, and it has been downhill since. And Atletico Madrid want him gone. They bought Rodrigo de Paul. They already have Koke. They have Fernando Llorente. I think I got the name right. They have Kondogbia, they have Herrera. All of these guys they prefer ahead of Sal. What does that say? Why are we going to go and get their sixth choice player? Like, there's a reason why none of the clubs have gone for Sal. And I'm not saying Sal can't resurrect his career. But would that be at Chelsea as a fourth choice player? He'd just be sitting here for 1 year earning his wages. Why? We can make Barkley do that. We can make Loftus-Cheek do that. And it sounds harsh, but you would rather have someone homegrown and someone who can potentially break through. If Ampadu has a terrific season, if he takes his opportunity like Shaloba did, we have another fantastic player in the books. That's the way I like it. I want that homegrown academy players mixed with the experienced players. With the Koundé thing, I would love Koundé. There's no doubt, because I do think that he is, as hyped as he is, sometimes I feel like he's a bit way too overhyped. People look at his FIFA potential and something like 89 or 90, and they're like, this guy's going to be the guy. He's the one. And maybe he will be the one. And I would like to see him at Chelsea. But at our price. If Sevilla's lowballing us, that's what they did. They lowballed us. They straight up lowballed us. They said, we want 55 million euros. Here comes the 55 million euros after we sold Zuma. And then they're like, nope, 70 million. We want 70 now. And now they're like, nope, there was a bid of 65 million euros. They're like, nope, that's not enough. Now we want the release clause. I just don't see Mourinho going in like for a player that, yes, is potentially a generational talent, but a player we don't necessarily need. And that's the thing. We don't need Koundé right now. We could do with Koundé next season when Thiago Silva's gone. And I'm sure this is not the end of the saga, because I think Chelsea will try and get him back next summer if we don't get him in the remaining transfer window. But let's not panic. Let's not get overboard. I have not been happy with the negativity that I'm seeing on Twitter. A lot of Manchester United fans are also tweeting saying they've improved their team while the rest of them haven't. Well, yeah, the rest of them have. The rest of them were ahead. I mean, it's difficult once you're ahead, it's difficult to get better. Of course, you can always get better. I'm not saying you can't get better. If there's a deal to be done that's affordable and that's for the right price, get the guy. If Declan Rice was available for 50 million somehow, get the guy. But that's not happening. Declan Rice is not going to come now. And honestly, I do feel like we're not going for Saul Niguez, because we know that Declan Rice wants Chelsea. And in a year, in 2 years, in a year, Declan Rice will be a Chelsea player. There you go. I said it. It's inevitable. It's inevitable. He's been twerking for Chelsea. Chelsea's been twerking for him. West Ham is just being stubborn because they know the inevitable is going to happen eventually, and that's all. And I don't mind for one season to have an Ampadu, to have a Loftus-Cheek or a Barkley or whoever. No, we might get some dead baller on loan where people are going to be happy because he has a bit of experience. Like, I don't know, Tolisso, for example, from Bayern, who's got an injury record that makes Loftus-Cheek look like he's never been injured. So I don't know, man. Like something might still happen in the window, but I'm happy with the team. I'm happy with the team. Let's look at the other teams. The depth of the Manchester United squad. They have good depth, but they start. It's comparable to ours. I would say it's on the same level, but they have Ole as their manager, and that's my major doubt for them. And the other thing that concerns me is their center of midfield. Like how in our situation, if Conte gets injured, we have a problem. They have a lot of options in center of midfield, but none of them are particularly elite quality. Like they are, Matic, Fred, and McTominay are of that level of Loftus-Cheek, Barkley, and Ampadu. Ampadu is young, so I don't want to mention him in that bracket because he has a lot of room to grow. And they start these guys. So for me, it's not a crisis for me. For Chelsea, but I like Manchester United. The look of their squad, I think they have strength in attacking areas, attacking midfield. They have 3 options. The wings, they have good options. Up front, they have Cristiano and Cavani. They have plenty of options. And in defense, they've improved the Varane. Absolutely, they've improved. They've got 4 decent center backs now. Bailly with Varane. Maguire and Lindelof. That look 4 good options. There were 4 good options. It's comparable to ours. Liverpool squad depth. It's probably the weakest of the top 4, but at the same time, we know how strong their first 11 is. They have a hell of a starting 11, and if that 11 can stay fit, they will be going for the title. And given the amount of injuries they had, they are probably due a season without a significant amount of injuries this season. So I expect them to be there. And now Man City. The Man City don't have I guess you could say that world-class striker, but look at what Pep's already doing with Ferran Torres. Gabriel Jesus has refound himself in a right wing, sort of right forward position. They have options all over the park, including players you see here that even Man City fans probably haven't heard of, but they have them on their books. They're in the team. They're in the squad, at least for now. They might get loaned out by the end of the window, but they're here. And for me, it's between these 4 teams. These 4 teams are going to be competing for the Premier League title. And man, Chelsea could finish anywhere from 1 to 6. I'm not going to rule out Tottenham because they've done a lot of business in the window, and Nuno looks like he's organized them. They look like a more decent outfit. And Leicester, they were in the top 4 race for the last 2 or 3 years. They just missed out last season again, and they strengthened as well to an extent. They got a striker who is probably they're looking at as a Jamie Vardy replacement slowly. Jamie Vardy is still there. They have options. It's going to be competitive. It's going to be a hell of a team. All of these teams are comparable. But anyways, guys, this was my video, and tell me what you think, man. Are people being too reactionary to not getting Koundé over the line, or to not getting Sal over the line? Do you think our squad has enough to compete for the title? I think we do. I honestly think we do. And who are our main challengers going to be? Anyways, guys, this was Boro B from me and my new yellow hair. I say goodbye to all you guys. See you after deadline day. Hopefully Chelsea signs someone. If not, we go with what we have.